so I thought I would make a little brow tutorial video since we can't go out for our professional brow services now. So these are going to be a couple pointers for you to use at home when you're tweezing your brows on your own. So you're just going to need a couple different tools. So a tweezer, I prefer the Tweezer Man with the slanted edge. They're very grippy and sharp, and you can send this into the company and they sharpen them for free. You're gonna need a spoolie brush or a little mascara brush to brush your brow out. And then you're gonna need a sharp pair of grooming scissors, and I prefer the Stork scissors. I find them to be by far the sharpest and most precise, and Tweezer Man does make these as well. And then you're just gonna need a little brush or something that's just long and thin so that you can use it for your measurements. And for the purpose of this video, I'm just gonna take a little white eye pencil just to mark out the shape so that you guys can see that. So first we're gonna measure out our brows. So we have to decide where our brow is going to start, where the highest point is going to be, and then where the end point is going to be. So I'm just gonna be using my right brow to measure this out for you. So when we measure this, we are going to take the ball of our nose is going to be our kind of starting point here. So we don't wanna use the outer edge here because as you can see, if I were to put that there, my brow would be starting all the way out here. That's pretty far, and we don't want our eyebrows to be that far apart. So we're gonna take that outer edge of the ball of our nose and just kind of bring that up here so you can see my brow already is ending right there. So if I want to make a little mark to show you, I will just, mark that off there. So you can see you wouldn't want to go anywhere past that point inward. This is going to be the outermost edge. And you can see on my brow that this area is kind of thin. So this is an area where I tend to fill that in a little bit. So now we're gonna find the highest point of our brow. And I'm just gonna be using that ball of my nose as the marking point. I'm gonna look straight ahead, and you want the pencil to line up with your pupil. So this is where you wanna be looking straight ahead and line it up with that ball of your nose to your pupil. And it's gonna give you roughly where the highest point of your arch should be. So let's see, give you a little dot right there. And as you can see, that is roughly where I'm at. And then you're gonna take the outer edge of your nose now and line that up with the outer edge of your eye. So this is going to be the end point of your brow. And we just make a little bit of a mark right there, and that's gonna be where my brow ends. So the next thing that I do when I'm grooming my brow, I like to trim them before I do any kind of tweezing. And so when you're trimming, you're just gonna wanna comb your brow upwards first. And I'm gonna switch over to the mirror here for when I actually cut, but you're gonna push all the hairs up, and then you're just going to trim right on the line of where your brow kind of ends. So any hair that's over that edge is going to be trimmed off. So I can't really see in my phone camera, so I have to do this in the little mag lamp over here. And so same with the edges as well. So you're going to just trim, and then depending on how bushy and full you want your brow, you can also just omit this next part. But next I would go ahead and just kind of push the hair down. And I don't know if you can see this, but I have like quite a bit of hair that goes down as well. So I like to just trim all of that off. Okay, so now that brow is nice and trimmed. And just for the purposes of this video, I'm not gonna mess with the left brow for now. Okay, and so now we are going to just tweeze everything that's on the outside of those little lines that we marked. So kind of just at a slant here, I'm just tweezing that line. And kind of like use your finger to hold the skin nice and taut, and then it won't hurt as much either. And you're just kind of doing quick little tugging motions here. So that's nice and clean now. And just continuing that through the rest here. And typically I would wax my brow, but I've been using retinol for the last couple of days, so I'm not going to mess around with that, but I still want my brows to look nice and neat. So tweezing is a really nice way to go ahead and keep them nice and clean without having to lift skin accidentally, which is a very uncomfortable process if you've ever had that happen to you. So we just continue to tweeze any little external hairs here. And then when I'm done tweezing, I like to take, I am currently using the Benefit Gimme Brow, and this is one of those little brow dips. So I use this one in the medium color, and it's a really nice way to just get a very natural brow, but to fill in a few areas. Like I said, this area is a little bit sparse for me, as well as the front. And so I just kind of gently brush upwards, fill in mostly just the areas where I find it to be a little bit less dense. And this is also going to just hold my brow in place a little bit too, so I have pretty thick hairs and my brows tend to go a little bit crazy. So this is a very nice way for me to keep a nicer natural look and keep the brows looking very nice and tame. So that's a nice filled in look. And normally, I'm not wearing any makeup today, but normally I would just do like a tinted moisturizer and some mascara, and that's pretty much all. So maybe I'll do a video on that as well, since people seem to be very curious about what my skin regimen and makeup regimens are. So I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments below and I'm happy to answer anything. All right, thank you.